Let's try that again. Still no audio on here though, huh? Hmm. How's that? Oh. Huh? Maybe? Fuck. Oh. I can play music like that. See? It's like the waiting music. Trying to move JFresh back to the audience. Okay, but all you guys can hear me on Discord now. We're officially good on that front. That's the first step. Okay, cool. What's up, Skarn? Holy shit, man. It's been a while. How you doing, dude? Glad to hear it. Just YouTube for me, but I'm cool with that. Did you click listen in, Jen Jen? It's traditional for Gherkin to struggle with this every week. Usually I don't have these fucking problems. Usually it's like JFresh who can't hear me. I moved JFresh off the stage and he disappeared. Oh, he's back. I'm getting both audio feeds. Okay, good. Sometimes it's actually just Discord, and AWS has been fucked up, so I don't know if that's going to be like an issue tonight or something, but I could definitely see it being one. I don't know if he's talking. His little microphone thing isn't lighting up, so I'm assuming he's got the wrong audio input or something. Otherwise, it would light up and I just wouldn't be able to hear him. YouTube, yes. Discord mobile, no. Interesting. Is anybody on Discord mobile hearing me? I am. Okay, so that it might be AWS shit or regional. Try just leaving and rejoining. That might be your best bet, or close the Discord app and rejoin. Oh wait, he can't hear that. Oh wait, he can hear it on YouTube though. Sometimes I find that force stop works well. Alright, I'm back to sharing my screen. There's Dork. Dork, can you hear me? Well, fuck me. Does someone want from the audience want to try coming up here and see if we can hear them? Hmm. You can hear Jork? Motherfucker. Hello? Oh. Hey. Yes, no, maybe? Mm. Maybe the default device for Discord is now reset. Oh, because the Windows 11 update? Like most people are probably on iPhones. Alright.
Testes, testes.
Oh, hey, holy shit, I can hear someone. Fuck yes.
Testes, testes. 1, 2, 3. Cock.
Cock.
That's about all I have to contribute today.
Thank you. No, that was extremely valuable.
And I made money today, so.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice. Which part?
One of the uppy parts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I made like I made a very small amount of money twice. And then I lost half of it at the end.
I'm convinced that if I just buy something and open and walk away for 5 hours, I'll be in better shape most of the time.
Yeah, Dork, leave Discord and restart it. God damn, motherfucker.
Can we get a bot to read his texts, his messenger comments, and make it sound like whatever you want it to?
No. I'm talking to Maximus right now. We're doing great.
Yeah. It's a private Discord at the moment.
Ah, Dork. Where'd you go wrong? Hey, Dork's back, and he still can't hear us.
Nope.
This is fantastic.
Not that it matters, but I also hear myself on YouTube.
Gherkin would have to restart the stage. I can do that. That's not a problem. Give me a second. Sorry, everybody.
Right. See you later.
Hey, Maximus. Give me a second. There we go. You guys didn't actually have to leave.
Oh my god, I can hear you.
Holy shit. There we go. What the actual fuck, man? Fuck Discord right in the ass.
What the fuck was that, dude?
Yeah. They probably vibe coded something. This is something I really hate. Like this desire, like nothing can ever just be good. It always like it has to grow, like growth at all costs. And so they're just like, how do we take this thing that's already good and keep growing it like a cancer instead of just allowing it to consistently be good.
You know what we need to do? We
You
just
make it
need to
suck.
get all three of it. Like, we're just gonna move the whole Discord over to TeamSpeak.
Oh God,
Mm,
or better yet,
gross.
Ventrilo.
I've never heard.
You know what?
You know what? TeamSpeak ensured that for like a 2-year period that I played CS:GO, that every German 12-year-old who fucked my mom could tell me about it.
Ooh.
I love TeamSpeak for Battlefield. It was great.
I've never used it because I'm so nerdy that I'm
It's where I
I'm
learned
too
most of my
nerdy for
swear
that
words.
even.
Xbox Live and TeamSpeak are where I learned all my swear words.
Oh, this is a game thing.
Oh man, I
yeah.
don't want to get you drunk because I feel like a lot of those words are racist.
That was the
Ooh.
Call of Duty days. But no, they weren't that bad. We mostly just made fun of British people.
Oh, nice.
Like my buddy's
I-
gamer tag was "fuck dirty Brits."
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. And so when a British person would be like, "Boy, you fucking with me, mate? You fucking with me?" He's like, "Shut up, you bellend."
Oh my god,
Bellend.
British curse words are the best.
Oh yeah.
I will say Zoom in 2020, 2021 actually pretty damn good. Now it's trash. And it's only because
They're all
they
trash.
had to change it.
They had to turn it into Teams, and so everything's turning into Teams, and it all sucks.
Discord was the last one left
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, Discord's still halfway decent though. It's not terrible. Like it has its moments,
But everything
like,
that they've done. Can you point to one thing they've done in the last like 3 years that made it better?
Discord. Oh, the little poker game.
Exactly. I
That made
rest
it
my
better.
case.
Yeah, no technology. It's only going to get worse.
Like I popped on Reddit because we have the Volstars subreddit, so now I'm gonna have to like start peeking in there every once in a while. Like Reddit has games now. Like that was a need or a desire. I'm never gonna play a Reddit game. Actually, BRB, I'm gonna go play a Reddit game. The Halloween audio pack is not new. It's been here for a really long time. And no, it's kind of stupid. And it's disorienting when you first hear it.
Look, all I'm going to say is we need to build our own servers on-prem and start our own chat group and just have it completely air gapped from the rest of the internet.
Gross.
Completely free. It runs on a Raspberry Pi.
Are we gonna
Even
get some
worse.
questions? I have a girlfriend I could hang out with instead of you guys.
Ooh, yeah, I got a
Oh,
couch
is
I
she-
could sit on.
Is she from a different high school in Canada?
Listen, just because she's Canadian doesn't mean she's not real.
I fucking knew
It certainly means she's not real.
It literally means she's not real.
Or that or just her country of origin does not exist, which makes her what? Just a refugee? She's
Like a-
Canadian refugee girlfriend?
Like a kid.
So,
I don't know. That's a pretty fascinating backstory.
wait, Dork. What province is she from?
Manitoba.
They don't exist. No, she's from Newfoundland, of course.
Oh, there we go. I
Ew,
like
no, come on. How dare you?
Well,
First of all.
I'm from Newfoundland. You want to help me count my teeth?
Wow.
Sorry, Newfoundlanders out there. Get fucked.
Don't apologize. They don't have internet, so you actually don't have to worry about it.
It's true, yeah. Well, one person has HughesNet, but the satellite dish is probably aimed badly.
I would not date a Canadian. How dare all of you?
Oh, I thought you were being serious.
No.
Well, why are you trying to throw us? Why are you hiding?
She's
who they
Haitian,
truly
that's
are?
why.
What's
So
wrong
you
with
must be
Haiti?
ashamed of who they. You are so ashamed of who they are that you pretended that they were Canadian. Red
No.
flag.
She's actually Somali. She's popcorn trader.
I'm so ashamed of you, I pretend you're a cat with sunglasses.
Hey,
Yeah. Hey.
I'm so ashamed of myself. I pretend I'm a cat with sunglasses.
Speaking of which, how
Oh
did the
my
Lula
God.
Boo Boo outfit go with your wife?
She hasn't watched yet,
Oh.
and she probably never will.
Operative word
It's
is
too
yet.
long. It's too long. That's the
No, old cheesy. God damn it. You just missed the whole conversation.
he's banging
Old
somebody.
cheesy rolling in 5 minutes late. Oh.
He's banging somebody he's so ashamed of that he's pretending they're Canadian.
I'm not. I said they weren't Canadian.
What's worse than Canadian? Well, lots of things.
Nothing worse than
I was about to say somebody from Cleveland.
Canada's not even a real country.
Or even worse, she's from New Jersey.
By the way,
Ooh,
Gammastrike subscribers from Canada, we don't mean any of these things. We love our Canadian brothers and their drip coffee and gravy potatoes.
It's called poutine Gherkin. It's classy.
Shut the fuck up. It's disgusting. It's got like
Nothing with gravy is classy, Dork.
squeaky cheese balls and gravy on top of French fries.
Yeah. Dork,
Oh,
I'm
it's so
about to
good,
be
though.
poutine D's nuts on your forehead.
Oh my
Oh,
god. This is
I'm gonna
like
find you,
God.
Jay Fresh. I'm gonna burn your
now the
fucking pull
option
down.
is coming out. Look what you did.
no,
Dork.
we swear, guys, we really do know a lot about the options market and partial differential equations also.
Stop
What
trying
we don't
to
know
make
about
this
is how to be very
professional.
diplomatic.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to make this a
Not-
professional
I'm,
racket.
Echo, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for
Yeah, you got a question about Gammastrike, Nitu? Come on, let's get this
No, I
back on
didn't.
track.
Gherk knows. And it's already been set up. Gherk knows.
It
what
doesn't
the
matter.
question
You
is,
still have
so
to ask the question.
I know. I
Oh.
gotta give the rest of the students a little context. So
Oh God,
shut up.
It's gross.
You too.
context. God,
Teacher.
listen things. The fuck.
Anyways,
Nitu lost
So-
money and he couldn't figure out why.
no, I did. Lose
There we
money,
go. That's
and
all the
I know
context we
why,
need.
But that's not it. No. That's it. We're not talking about risk management. We're talking about market mechanics, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. How can I use Gammastrike to visualize the context between momentum as spot approaches a large pile of gamma on, let's say on the 0 DTE, and whether or not that momentum relative to the gamma is sufficient enough for it to break through that level or to get
Volume?
hung up in the air quotes gravity of that large pile of gamma.
Oh my god, can
Volume?
you use the real words and then let us use the fake
No.
words?
No.
So Nitu,
Yeah, I have,
you're
I
talking
have
about-
no idea what you're trying to say to me
So
right
so
now.
he's saying this big gamma dildo on the RTD page, and we're consolidating at it. How are we gonna go? Are we
No,
gonna go
no,
through? Are we gonna get
no.
rejected?
No, we're not consolidating at it. We're a spot is approaching it.
Oh,
with
okay, so
velocity.
we're headed towards it, and then we're gonna consolidate for a little bit, and then go
No,
up or
not-
go down.
No.
That's what happens.
Yes, that does happen sometimes. Sometimes you consolidate and you get hung up at it and reject.
What price in
Sometimes-
particular are you talking about right now for today?
Oh, this was like days. This was. Well, if I
Oh,
could
you motherfucker,
scroll
this
back
was
on the
days ago, and you-
RTD
For the
page.
benefit of our audience that doesn't know what the fuck is going on here, I'm gonna throw Nitu slightly under a bus.
Please.
Yes.
So Nitu DM'd me and he said, "Is there a way to measure momentum relative to gamma gex?" And then I replied, "Speed ... smoking Pepe." He said, I need my physics brain to map out how to envision that on GS. And then I sent him the first chart that popped up for speed on a Google search, which was this.
Yeah, and And this is when I stopped reading, because it was also like 10 o'clock at night for me.
And then I said left of
So-
spot hedging load rises, right of spot hedging load bleeds. The bigger the peaks, the faster the swings in gamma. Think of gamma as the surface, as speed as the wave below it.
Yeah.
So
That's when
okay,
I stopped reading.
so are we talking about momentum as it relates to gamma? Okay, so in the context of speed, yeah. But speed, right, is the change in gamma. So when you look at concentrations of speed, what you're looking at are strikes where the gamma on those contracts is either highly correlated, highly anti-correlated, or not correlated with price.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to, if there's a move happening, right? Let's say the SPX has got a nice strong trend happening, and you're trying to figure out how is gamma changing right the fuck now. You look at the speed and you see, oh, these contracts have a shit ton of speed, so these are the ones that are picking up the most gamma. If those are near spot, you're going to be getting like a lot of consolidation. If they're far away from spot, no, you'll still be getting consolidation.
Yeah.
Just think of the just think of like the 2D plane of gamma exposure you're looking at, right? And then in your head, think of like where speed is highest, and think of, that is at those strikes, that speed is going to impact that gamma the most. Because these are tertiary derivatives of delta at this point. And so it's just like you're like, you're getting kind of far away from what's important. But this does matter when price is moving, very specifically.
That's the
Unidirectional
part.
moves is where it matters. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can think of like you're looking at a stat, like, a static value for Gex and it's relative to moneyness, and speed is basically going to increase that gamma exposure at those strikes where speed is higher.
Yeah. So what Gherkin is showing you is essentially the tangent line of a bell curve. To put it into math words, but yeah, you really.
I'm about to show him something else kind of cool too.
Oh, hit your penis?
What?
No, that's back in our DMs.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn it! Why are you sending? Eh.
I don't send him my penis. I just copy and paste the pictures
A penis?
of the pictures
Oh, yeah.
of I just copy and paste the pictures of your penis that you send me, and then I forward them to him.
So he thinks they're your penis?
Yeah, and I'm like, sorry it's so small, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I question about, I didn't think you had that much Irish, heritage in you. But...
JFresh just posted the link to the docs, to the speed portion, where he has a beautiful chart that looks just like Gherk's.
That's lovely.
It's the other way because I think the chart he's showing is for puts, but
yeah, it is. It's for a put, and you did for a call.
It doesn't matter
but,
if it's moving up or down for the question, but
well, it does though. So like if you're looking at negative speed on a strike, that's pretty important, right?
Yes.
Options, fundamentals, the Greeks, speed at the bottom.
Right. But okay.
So, I mean, yeah, when the markets, what you're really trying to suss out, right, is how much is gamma going to increase? When is this gamma increase trend going to slow or stop? Is it going to slow or stop?
So
you would really be looking at speed and waiting for it to sort of die down.
Here's like a fun example in the real life situation. Okay.
Well, let Jay first.
I still don't understand exactly what the situation is. So you were seeing the spot was moving up into the calls.
Okay, so the actual time that this happened was yesterday, Wednesday. Market time would be roughly 11:15 ish. This is when SPX was breaking down from 67.25. There was a big hunk of not only gamma but speed at the 6700 strike, and that's when I was wondering, okay, so how so this is moving. This is moving, this is moving with momentum. How can we quantify, whether or not that momentum is enough to break through and continue through that level, or if that big gamma speed pile at 6700 was going to slow it down and potentially bounce it back up, which is what happened that time. And then the next time we also had the news about or the U.S. tech and China and all that fun times. And
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
rendered
So there's a lot going on here. So it depends. Okay. So the first part of your question is essentially assuming if nobody closes or opens new positions
yes,
in the
as
options market. Okay. Which is very different from the second part, which is what's been happening whenever Trump opens his mouth and says something that blows up the intraday market.
yeah. That's a wild card. The Joker's wild with that.
But okay, so if you think about the first part, which is if it's just price actions moving and like nobody's closing positions, so it's like we know it's going to be somebody's going to push it. Where is it most advantageous for somebody to V this thing? I think is what you're asking. If it's dropping,
It's more of if it's dropping at what rate is spot changing, where the changes from this is going to bounce or this is going to break on through, and the sold puts at 6700 are going to squeeze. Where's that?
yeah, okay.
What's the momentum
yeah,
that
okay.
causes that?
Right. Yeah, okay. So, let's say the market's dropping, it's doing its V thing, the first part of the V, and you're coming up. You're not at you're not at what was it, 6700 yet,
Yeah,
but you're gonna
yet.
be, and you're looking at the gamma and trying to figure out what's going to happen as you approach it. Well, the speed basically tells you how that gamma chart is going to change as you approach it. And so, for example, if you're thinking about squeezing out puts, you have to take the speed chart that's shown here for calls and flip it over, which is what Kirk was showing before.
Yep.
And you see, okay, well, as you come down and approach that strike, the gamma is going to grow quite quickly, especially for 0 DTEs, right? This is what I'm showing here on this chart is pretty compact. As you go out in time, it both flattens and it spreads out. And so, yeah, so if speed is important, which you can check on the intraday and our RTD data,
Correct.
then you can kind of get a sense of how much is that gamma going to change as you get to it, right? And so usually when you're, with the exception of there's so much call gamma, usually there's like that big peak, but usually like for the puts, when you're out of the money, there's not a ton of gamma there, but you can get a sense of like roughly how much gamma are we going to add as we're going down. And if that number is large, then that can give you a sense that it's going to get more hung up there, because if it's all sold, the market makers can be buying into that drop. If it's not, if gamma is kind of low at that strike on the puts before you get there, and the speed isn't super high for that, then it's probably not going to serve as much of a resistance, right?
Right.
But then we get into the second part of your question, which is relaxing the assumption that nobody's buying or selling anything. The other half of the V is a deliberate push by opening new positions to restore the value of the existing positions. And so in that case, speed isn't going to give you a measure of speed isn't going to give you a sense of what are people going to do in response. But
Right.
if you're
After,
thinking like that, but if you're thinking like that person who is looking to find a place to V it, right? They want to push when they have the most favorable conditions they might have. You can use that to say, okay, well, so you could look at, for example, OI, or I guess in this case, volume, if you assume that, volume scales with the net open positions in the intraday. You look at volume to see where most of the puts have traded. You look at the current amount of gamma, and then you can kind of get a sense from the speed how much gamma that will gain as you're approaching it. And then if I'm somebody who's trying to V it based on the existing positioning, I'm going to try to find a place where there is a lot of positive gamma that will arise once we get there. And then I'm going to go balls to the wall and double down and try to reverse it with the buying in my favor.
right. Which was more or less kind of what I was thinking at the time. But then,
But so the key piece there is that, yes, this will give you a sense of where are those places where they might respond, but you don't, there's nothing, there's no, you can't measure the future. Like, they're not signaling to the market when they're going to respond until they respond. So you don't know what they're going to do until they do it.
that's no, I've got the I got the reflexive dynamic part down, but it's one of those like back on the left side of the V, and you were talking about, well, if there isn't a lot of gamma and there isn't a lot of speed, even if we're not, and even if we're kind of moving down with mediocre momentum,
Moving at
we might
all is sufficient. I mean, it depends on the change
Yeah.
in the rate of implied vol. So, take a look at, like, if you really want to gauge like the momentum on options, look how fast market makers are pricing them up. And so, you've got the live IV curve right there, and that's a pretty good way of seeing how much IV is going to change between where you're at and where you're going. And if the
Okay.
change in IV is very steep, it's likely that you're going to pick up more momentum because options are pricing up faster as in that direction.
That's
And
more
just to interrupt you a little bit, that is actually an important indicator of what I was describing before, right? So we're talking a lot about assuming nobody's changing positions. That IV, the steepness of the IV and changes over time, gives you some sense of how that positioning is changing, right? Because the market maker, yes, they can price things up because their own risk is, offset, but more likely than not nowadays, because volumes are so high, IV is priced up because demand for options is going up in that spot, right? And so if most of the volume trading in that area is puts and the IV is going up, that's telling you that people are basically buying to close sold puts on the intraday. And so if that starts going up, that's telling you, oh, there's a good chance that, nobody's going to want to V it here because they're all getting out here.
Okay. It all comes back to IV. No, that resonates.
Yeah, and then also remember, I was going to show like a little bit of an example here as well, where you have like a situation where you have lower gamma at the strikes below where you would expect support to be. Like, this is the advantageous point to V from, right? Because this is likely where the majority of sold puts are sitting. And so if price goes up and, rejects and starts falling back this way, but that move is consistent and it's not getting hung up. The speed is going to increase the gamma at this strike a little bit, right? Because not a lot of speed there. But the further out it moves through that strike, the more it's going to start to increase the gamma at these strikes. And so these strikes can start to swell due to the shift in speed. And then you can end up getting a drop that falls through the expected supportive layer, right, into deeper strikes before you find support out here. And this is something you see in, like, obviously, you see this far more often in negative gamma environments, where you'll see kind of a downside that looks, you know, like a little bit more mixed. It'll look like this, instead of being, you know, a straight slope into a resistance. And as price moves down through this in a negative gamma environment, these are, you know, pushing up due to the speed of those strikes, as are these. And so you're getting actually more negative gamma in that range than what you're perceiving from the gamma chart alone, as long as price is moving down.
Yeah, and in that case, the speed is helping you predict a little baby gamma squeeze, right?
Yeah, you can kind of, because you can look at this setup that I drew here, and you can say, well, you know, speed's going to continue to go up on these strikes that are further out of the money. And so maybe, you know, I'll bet on like that test versus closing out on this test. And this is really more, and this is really where third order derivatives become most valuable, is kind of in like that maximizing the profitability. Because it's very easy to go, you know, like gamma's going to go down, and, you know, I'm going to ride this put one strike, like a one strike gap into support and close it. And, you know, that's a decent play. You're probably going to make like 20, 30, maybe even 40%.
Yeah.
But if you know, if you can take the extra knowledge that you're granted by Vana and you're granted by speed, you might be able to play that continuation and not be one of those people who's like, oh man, I closed my fucking put so early, I didn't think we were going to keep dropping. And that's, you know, when I'm talking on stream, that's generally something I'm factoring in, and people are like, oh man, but Gherk, it looks like support is here, resistance is here. Or like, you know, I'm telling people, you know, upside is, like, the potential upside is significantly past where it appears the top of gamma is. And, you know, that's because I'm factoring in the effects of that.
I know you are. I'm just trying to glean a fraction of that.
Yeah, but now I'm
Experience.
telling you. That's why I'm telling you.
Right.
I'm telling
I'm
you.
picking up what you're putting down.
Okay, all right. I'm telling you,
I'm
you
picking
can use those things too.
Yeah, but and the key here, I mean, I think a great sort of additional piece of it, and this is kind of like the challenge that Gherk has been talking about all along, is that like one of the things that makes him successful in intraday trading is he's able to keep a lot of different pieces of information at the top of his mind, and he's thinking about it very quickly, and he can synthesize sort of, you know, infer conditions from all of it together kind of pretty quickly. And that, you know, some people might call that intuition, whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to stroke your balls or anything.
It's part of his
but,
habits that he's built.
yeah, I mean, some of it is, you know, cognitive offloading to just, you know, habits and finding that thing. But what I'm trying to say is, in addition to all of these things that we're talking about, what we haven't really spent a lot of time talking about is the volatility curve. And if you combine all of this with the volatility curve, that can help you get a sense of how vulnerable are the people at those strikes, you know, because it's coming down to, is it going to continue or not? And that really comes down to how vulnerable are these people? How willing are they to hold for a loss, to kind of wait for a good time to push it back into the money, or are they going to get screwed over, right? And then in addition to the volatility curve, you have to also keep track of, intraday news, right? If Trump says something about 100% tariffs on China going into effect in 2 weeks, probably pretty likely that all of the people that are short options on the 0 DTEs and maybe even 1 DTEs are going to say, fuck this, I'm closing out. And they close it out. And all of that positive gamma support just evaporates and it just collapses, right? And so
I mean, that's what happened at what, noon, 12:30 yesterday.
Yep, it was a little baby one.
Yeah.
The dynamics are a little bit more complicated there because we already had like the big drop from the first time he said something like that. And so everybody's already kind of in recovery mode and emergence, like in crisis mode, trying to get this back up to where we are now. So they've now what I would consider to be successfully recovered from the chaos of, the Trump announcement last week. They were successfully able to short vol and get it back to what I would call their equilibrium position, their zero carry. So because they were already in that mode when it happened again this week, they were much more prepared to keep pushing upwards because they'd already started doing that from last week. But anyway, that's just all of that to say that, yeah, it sounds complicated, but you do have to kind of keep all of these mechanical signals in your mind, and always the important thing is always link at least to me, as a trader. Obviously I'm not a great trader, and you
Dude,
don't have to do all of
shorted the
this
top
to
of
be a
gold.
great trader. Well, I didn't, I just sold, I'm not short, but and
went
also
short.
wasn't huge. I wish I had more, but I think gold is a stupid hedge or wealth storage mechanism. But anyway, for me, I always try to link back what are the mechanics that I'm seeing. What does that mean for market positioning? What does that mean for the people who have open positions and open risk in the market, and how might they respond? Right? And because to me, I think the market is a zero sum game and you are competing against other people. And right now, for better or for worse, a lot of those people are very bullish and very uneducated on all of this. And so I think probably the lowest hanging fruit for the retail trader that has information and understands it is, how can I go after those people? The lowest hanging for the bottom rung participants. And so if you ever have a question of like, hey, I was looking at this thing and it did an interesting thing today, and I don't necessarily understand how that maps to the weakness or strength of existing market participants, and you want to ask questions about it, I would be, just shoot me a DM and I'll be happy to try to go through it with you. Because I think that is the most important thing in terms of at least trying to gain advantage in the market. It's understanding. It's basically just like being able to take a peek at the cards of the other poker players at the table.
Okay. No. I have a few I might DM you. And I literally mean a few. I'm not going to DM you like dozens.
No, you can. I'm not going to read the LinkedIn shit you wrote, because if you send it to me non-LinkedIn, I'll read it, but I refuse to
That's
give
fine.
LinkedIn the click.
That's fine. But it was the same topic you and Dork were talking about on your
Yeah,
podcast.
no, I actually do. I like it when you sent me that link. My first thought was like, oh, I kind of want to read what he said. And then I saw it was LinkedIn. I was like, fuck Microsoft.
I haven't logged into LinkedIn since
Wait.
2013.
You don't like Microsoft, Mr. Azure?
Apparently, LinkedIn is losing popularity among recruiters because it's just turned into MySpace, where all the people who want to matter in high school are just making their LinkedIn page super dope. And all the people who actually have relevant skills and don't care just don't care.
Oh, it's always been that way.
It's getting worse.
I think
Have you guys
the
ever
issue
looked
with
at the LinkedIn subreddit, LinkedIn Lunatics? Oh shit, somebody
no.
it's hysterical.
Is that the one where people are just posting weird shit on LinkedIn?
No, it's just like insane people who are on LinkedIn.
Isn't that what I just said?
No, you said people posting insane shit on LinkedIn. These are just insane people using LinkedIn. It's not the same.
East Coast, West Coast. I think we're saying the same thing.
We don't need to start that battle again. Last time we lost Tupac and Biggie.
LinkedIn is where people go when they're middle managers, and yeah, they want to feel like they have a big impact, and so they say words on it. Lots of words.
It's just where middle managers go to convince executives that they can't be replaced by AI.
Words.
Except my company
Posted on a Substack, I'd be like fucking all over it.
AI.
I clicked your LinkedIn link, by the way, Need2, and it said log into LinkedIn to read this post. And you know what I did after that? I closed it because I'm not logging into LinkedIn. I'm not falling for it. I know what you're doing. You're trying to trap me.
Oh, I wouldn't trap you like that, Dorg. Not like
I mean,
that.
I don't know.
It's pretty basic. It's a pretty basic way to trap you.
I mean, yeah, like it could have been LinkedIn.uk, and then he could have given me a virus.
Although, honestly, that's the best way to trap someone. It's like standing at their desk and be like, "Oh, do you have your password for this?" And they like look at the drawer they keep it in.
Dude, quit giving away my alpha.
What?
They look at the post-it note with all the passwords on it.
That's people ask me, well, how do you get crack people's passwords? You have a password cracking rig and do all this crazy stuff. Like, no, I just ask people for their password.
See, when someone sends
Or
me a
just say-
LinkedIn link, I go and create 10 Russian LinkedIn bot accounts and I visit their profile with all of them.
Thanks. Need more followers. Pump those numbers.
What are you trying to get hired somewhere?
No, different.
Oh,
But I'm not supposed to promote myself on this forum, so I'm not gonna.
yeah,
say
get
what
fucked.
I'm doing.
Fuck off.
Yeah. But
Yeah. How about you fuck yourself? Huh? You ever think of that? If you had a Substack, you made a Substack article. I mean, hey, I'd be open. I'd be open to it. But instead, you make me log into LinkedIn.
no, I'm not
I'm
gonna
not gonna
make
do
you
that.
log into anything you don't want to.
That's where I draw the line, is logging into LinkedIn. All right, you're not gonna get
It's
me
a
to do it.
decent line to draw. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I've made a pretty clear delineation.
I feel like
in
in
all
this
my
day and
social
age, the
medias.
best place to hide your password is on a post-it note on your monitor.
Or under your
Maybe.
keyboard.
Your
or on the pen tray
your
of
webcam can't see it.
Depends on if there's
You
something
see,
reflective behind you.
I put all my passwords. I have actually engraved them onto a piece of gold bullion.
Why would you pick such a soft metal?
Exactly. No one would suspect their passwords.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Look, you just know I'm a genius, okay?
Didn't say you weren't.
I just
My
remember my
bullion
passwords.
password idea is $1 billion idea.
Have you guys tried that? Have you tried just keeping them in your brain?
I use a password manager so I could make them not easily guessable by a computer.
But the computer... Wait, hold on. You're using an algorithm to create your passwords, and you think that's the foolproof method?
Well, then I add
Sure.
some other stuff to it.
I don't want to do actual work this late, but I'm just gonna say password length is what matters.
Yeah. How long can it be? Make it that long.
Yeah.
That's why all of my passwords are the maximum number of character in lowercase a.
One A. Dot.
My wife has assured me that length doesn't matter.
We need to talk to your wife. She's also into Labubu's, so I mean, there's obviously a lot of things going on.
But she's not into J-Fresh dressed as a Labubu.
Not
That's
yet.
true.
Those
Ooh,
exist.
Maybe I
I'm
should be that
surprised we
for
haven't seen a
Halloween.
Labubu at the.
I
Portland Way.
don't know how you haven't picked up on being a Labubu for Halloween. Like,
Yeah, you guys should go to the Portland War Zone, the demilitarized
actually-
zone.
Adult Labubu.
costume.
If you can navigate the landmines
shit.
and claymores and RPG fire at
Labubu
Portland.
mascot costume, $725 on Etsy. That's like cheaper than Labubu's.
I want J-Fresh to stream his Halloween to us. I want it to just be like him crying in the living room and be like, "Look what I did for you, and you still don't love me."
With a Labubu costume with the crotch cut out.
Yeah.
And his wiener just sitting there all soft and sad.
Gert, I think you
Rock
found the
hard.
extreme card.
This is gonna be rock hard the
That's
whole
true, yeah,
time.
because he would take like 3 or 4 what's it called before.
I don't want to bogart the whole thing. Like, do other people have questions?
I don't know, do
Yeah.
they?
They'd raise their fucking hands, I'd hope.
Yeah, I got an ass and there's a couch downstairs. I mean, like, I'm just saying.
Like, I sat at my
We could all
work
be-
computer so I could look at Gammastrike while I asked my question. Like, I went to extra effort today for this.
I have to
But-
sit at my work computer to do this anyways. Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm sitting here on my work computer.
But I'll talk about J-Fresh crying in the corner in a Labubu outfit.
Do you guys remember when Creand posted his ass on Super Stonk?
Yes.
Yeah. Was there
Remember
like,
the cucumber?
Ugh. Don't,
was
please.
there a banana?
I don't.
Nope. There's the cucumber. It was later on.
No good.
No, yeah. Gammastrike questions are cool. I could just keep talking shit about LinkedIn. I haven't been on it in over 10 years, but we could talk shit about it.
It's like LinkedIn from 10 years ago, but worse.
Labubus are
It's
a
pretty much a
combination of Beanie Babies and Furbies,
Mm.
but they're more
Mm.
expensive and in demand than both of those ever were.
Yeah, Labubu did this thing where they got a bunch of TikTok influencers to talk about them, and then there was a craze for them. Which
Oh
is
my
what you
God.
should do if you're
Hold
making
on.
a stupid ass toy with no point. You should get TikTok influencers to go nuts over them so that everyone else goes nuts over them, and then there's a shortage, and you make a lot of money.
Dork, I need you to actually learn something for the next Volstars podcast. I need you to go on TikTok and look up word chewing, and then I would like you to master that skill.
How about I take a 38 snub nose and I put it in my mouth,
Nope. There's children.
and it's not loaded, but I pull the trigger just to see what it would feel like in the last moments.
That's but I mean, haven't you ever watched like the dark side of the internet? People do that, and then it is loaded.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't be too sad if I'm learning fucking word chewing.
So you know what it is.
No,
Well, then how do you know it's bad?
because I can just imagine anything coming from TikTok with the word chewing in it and the word word in it is going to make me want to fucking jump off a bridge.
Is this something I have to ask my kids
There's no
about?
bridges in Reno. I have to go out of my way to find a bridge to jump off of, Gherk.
We got lots of bridges up here, Dork. You can visit.
I live in a desert. I can't jump off a bridge.
There's no bridges here, all right?
Oh, there's an
makes me more of a
entire
dick.
subreddit for word chewing.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm looking this up. What is word chewing? I'm finding this out.
This is gonna ruin your
I
fucking
hate
night. I'm
everything
so
about
happy
this.
about it.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's no, so it's cringe apparently.
Oh, okay. So this is just where you're just like a super hyped up white chick.
But you are, Dork.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Oh.
super hyped up white chick though. Like, fuck off. No,
We've
no.
got
This
the
yeah.
gifts. We've got the gifts.
That just
to prove
puts
it.
that just puts a
Dork,
defi-
I think
that
I could
just puts a
speak on
word
the
to what
behalf
I've
of
seen.
everyone here and say that you're the whitest girl any of us know.
So when you said everyone, did you make your mouth super wide, and did you also like, cock your head a little bit when you said everyone, like some sort of fucking white chick? Because that's pretty much what it is just full on white chick.
No,
My wife just bought one of these.
They move their. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
That's huge.
Oh my god, Jay Fresh, and I'm sitting here talking about killing myself. Oh my god.
Wait,
I'm
wait.
about to be the proud owner of that baby.
The owners of Gammastrike are very happy and not depressed, and the suicidal ideation is purely satire.
Yeah, Dork, are we gonna have to talk after this?
Jesus. Have you been giving him enough attention lately? Have you called him son?
I talked to him. He sent me some cool papers, and we talked today.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
wasn't
You
interested
two
in
need
any
to
of
go
his
someplace
stupid
like warm and
ideas.
sunny or something.
Look,
Like-
when I get put on Dan work like this, where I got to go learn a TikTok thing, it makes me want to put a stapler into my forehead until I have to go to the hospital, so I don't have to work anymore for a little bit.
I got one for you,
Because-
Dork.
I'm not that person.
The
If you
Okay.
accidentally staple gun your wiener to a table, you can have 3 days off of coding.
Oh shit!
y-
How
wait,
much
you
does a
guys
staple
actually,
gun rental
give him
cost?
PTO?
No, Gammastrike is not registered in a state that believes in workman's comp or rights.
But you also don't pay.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Gherk's. This is the goodness of Gherk's heart.
It's just
This is just me
yeah.
saying if that happens, he can have 3
He's
days
gonna
off.
let me. He's gonna let me. Yeah, take off the electrified chastity belt so I can actually walk around. He's got me trained
That
like
would
a
be a personal
Sanabi's
engineer.
dog, so when I get off my bed, I get shocked in the dick, and then I run back over to it.
It's just so funny because the last
Hey,
thing
Dork.
that he DM'd me today was
God.
some harebrained idea that was ridiculous, like an engineering idea that was just, I mean, a neat idea, but pretty harebrained. And he said, "What? It'll only take 10 years of our life with less than a 1% chance of a payoff that may only be 1/10 commensurate to the amount of work we will put in." And I just responded with, "That sounds familiar."
Yeah. Wait, we're already doing that. Why are you trying to punish yourself extra?
Exactly. I was like, I
As
already
as
got
was
one of
typing
those.
that- as I was typing that, I was like, "Oh God, is this going to be the biggest anti-pep talk I've ever?"
We already
given?"
have like 8 projects that don't make money.
Yeah.
God
I
damn.
got another one for Dork. Hey,
Holy
Jay
Saber
Fresh.
said I sent a question to Volstar's Google questions page like 2 weeks ago. Did you ever get to it? I don't know. Maybe. Did you listen to the most recent episode?
Our dickhead producer Ron is who's in charge of those.
Oh, he's your
He
social
did
media
mention
guru?
somebody's. He did represent somebody's. Submitted a couple.
Oh my god,
I
I
think
did
you
answer
said
that
all
question.
that.
Volstar's episode 4, I believe. I answer your question about VN. I do. Haha.
Ooh. Get wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
Fuck
you
you,
listen
man.
to Volstars?
Question asker.
Listen to the Ball
Maybe
Stars.
just listen to it.
It's towards the end. If you go
I submitted
halfway
a
through,
question to your show that I didn't listen to. Did you answer it?
Because I don't want to listen to find out. Just save me some time. Yeah, you could always just scroll to like the last 20 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah, it'll be
maybe
like
this
the
is
last.
maybe this is something. I don't know if we can, but is there a way for us to tell the listeners that we're gonna feature their questions so they know to listen? I guess it doesn't really matter. Just listen.
Oh, I listened to it today while I got lunch.
I did, and you did not. I definitely answered the question on VN, and maybe it was the next episode that we got it. It should have been episode 4. I'm gonna go back and look at the PDF now.
Oh shit! It's getting
Break up
serious.
PDFs.
Yeah, we have our questions listed on a PDF. We're serious. These are PDFs.
Yeah, this is a professional product that we're producing.
Yeah, the P in PDF doesn't stand for portable. It stands for professional. Okay.
Oh, great. Ron deleted it. Motherfucker. Oh, wait,
I might have
found
it saved, actually. I might have it.
I found it.
Oh, God. Okay.
Audience question. VN on stocks versus equities. Yeah. Episode 4, man. Working title to be determined. October 15th, 9:30 p.m. The only one I didn't watch.
Ugh. Moped, it's not your concern who Ron is. All you need to know is he's a douchebag and he's a producer. Fuck Ron. He's great, but fuck him. Well, Gammastrike questions, or is it Baby Farms time? I've started watching Ozark. It's pretty good.
I haven't watched
First
that.
season?
I know it's been out for like 12 years, but I've never watched it.
It's pretty good.
I don't know if I want to see Jason Bateman being not funny.
I mean, he does a pretty good job. He's still himself. You know how he is. He's like super, like, just very frank.
He can only play himself, Dork.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like Adam Sandler in that sense.
Oh, God. Would you
Sandler,
stop bringing up Adam
role-playing,
Sandler and acting in the
character.
same sentence?
Adam Sandler is a revolutionary actor. Okay.
Oh, fuck off.
Hi, Moped.
Hey guys. How's
What's
it
up,
going?
dude?
All right. So I have a question about Gamma Max on equities, and specifically it's about BTU, because it seems like the past month or so it's just been above Gamma Max, and I guess I'm just a bit more curious why. Sorry, it's been like above like 10-15% above Gamma Max.
Mhm.
And I guess I'm wondering if you can help explain why a bit, because the MM, they shouldn't be hedging it above there. And is it just like macro and like new stuff? Like, do people just need to just buy more calls and they can keep pumping it up? I'm just sort of curious, is there like a mechanical reason how it could stay above GM so much?
So,
Appreciate it.
yes. I mean, first of all, the BTU options chain generally doesn't have a lot of options on it, which you can kind
Look
of
at
see
the
here
look at the
from-
gamma curve
like,
on it too.
The
I
peak
mean,
of Delta wasn't even $500 million. I will say that it's actually not quite at Gamma Max. Gamma Max is up at like 39.
Oh, maybe
it's like
maybe it changed because
somewhere around there. But no. I mean, like, you are correct as far as where the like that point is being found on the gamma curve, which the other curve isn't. That point is lower than spot. But there is more gamma to the upside, and I think that's what you're seeing. Is you're seeing that, like, there is in fact like a lot of out of the money interest. And I think it's finding like gamma max around here. But you can see that there's like multiple peaks of gamma. And it's kind of finding the one that's most local, which is below spot. But there's another peak of gamma like out here. And so technically, I mean, the actual peak of gamma is further
well,
out of the money.
this gamma curve here is actually notional gex too, so
Yeah.
that gives you a because gamma max on the chart is the max of gamma, not the max of notional gamma.
You probably
which
have
also take
like
into account delta.
gamma that kind of looks like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like it was like a weird
Like
peak
the-
thing, and then it kind of just flattens out.
Yeah, like the gamma probably looks like this. And that's where like it's good to like double check the gex exposure and kind of
Gex
see
and, Gex and the gamma curve, really. If something's above gamma max, look at the gamma curve. Like, it should be your second stop.
Yeah.
If that's what you're interested in, I mean, the second stop should be right here, so you can kind of see. Okay, this is the full picture. So It is above gamma max, but there's more notional gamma to the upside. Is it going to keep going up? I don't know.
I wonder if yeah, let's run
But yeah,
these.
this takes into account delta, right? So it's a little different.
Yeah, and I see I need to mention that it's a less liquid chain. I've noticed the spreads are kind of wide on those. Could I have an impact also on
Yeah.
whether it's above gamma max?
That has an
It
impact
could.
on the reliability of the neutral points.
It could. I mean, in terms of so liquidity really doesn't become too huge of a problem until something is so illiquid that its pricing is no longer consistent with any known conventional option like pricing model. So with things like where there's like almost no open interest or something like that, we're gonna have problems because a lot of the bid ask is at like $0 and then between 50 cents and $3. And for us, I mean, what are, and also those bids and asks are all sawtoothed around instead of being in a nice like hockey stick. So, what are you to do with that? I mean, it can have some impact on this for sure. But like if I go to the volatility page, that'll give me the best indication of how fucked up this chain really is. It's pretty fucked up. It gets
Yeah.
super flat further out. But I think that okay, yeah. So after 2026 Q1, it starts to get fucked up. But before that, things are okay. Now let's see where most of the open interest is concentrated by expiry. It is Jan 2026, where pretty much all the open interest is that's worth a shit, besides like November. Yeah, I guess this could be a liquidity on the earlier expiries fucking with things, but I mean,
I would say that's very likely. Don't forget that BTU is a dividend stack. And dividend stocks are inherently yielding. And so dividend stocks generally, especially if the dividend is like greater than like 2%, that's ballpark. That's not a strict figure, and that average changes in different market conditions. But generally, if the dividend's like over 2%, you'll notice that people don't sell calls. So no call selling. And the lack of call selling in order to obtain a yield from the underlying, because the underlying already pays a yield, leaves the options chain a little fragmented and a little illiquid. And you run into this across most dividend stocks. It's just really common because most of the investors on it aren't really selling calls because the additional yield isn't generally worth the risk. Obviously, this has had like a very strong run alongside commodities recently. And a lot of that is, additional speculation and a lot of out of the money call buying. Probably a lot of it just the fucking pickle jar. But it is a factor to consider. And in the future we do plan on weighting these and giving people an idea of how important the neutral points are in an options chain. Like if you look at the mag 7, these are wildly important levels. But if you're looking at something like Fubo, where there's like 3 active strikes on a chain of 5 strikes, these are going to be a little bit less important or less relevant.
Yeah. One of several factors.
But I would imagine at the peak there, where it kind of topped out, it probably tapped the top of where the Gex exposure was at the time. It's too many days for me to look back, but I would say that that's very likely.
Yeah, it was also near. It was also 52-week highs. I think it broke it a couple of times during that run.
Yeah, so technical breakout. Yeah, so options matter a little less because everyone's just bullish.
I mean, they still matter, and like the lower peak obviously still has a lot of weighting. Like price is not getting substantially far away from it at any point. But yeah, I mean, it's something to consider whenever you see something above gamma max. I would definitely go look at that curve and make sure that it's really at the top.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I didn't do that. I didn't think of it at the time. What was it, like a week or two ago? I just sold my remaining. I sold some in the money covered calls on my remaining position,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, all right, I guess it is what it is. So I wasn't really thinking too much about it.
Yeah, unless the chain bifurcates, which this one's almost doing. And when the chain bifurcates, usually after like a big news event or something, they have to open more of the chain further out because they don't have those strikes open. You'll get like this thing on the curve that looks like this. And sometimes your gamma max will be like down here in this range. But because the chain is split and new strikes have opened, there's also like a second gamma max further out. And this one almost did that, which makes it a little weirder to read because it wasn't just like a straight like earnings beat into opening up 100 new strikes, which we've seen on stocks like Reddit and Palantir and stuff like that in the past. And so, but it is still a very similar effect that you're seeing. It's just not as exacerbated because the gamma and the middle range didn't get like gapped over. It was just very quickly climbed. And so there's a lot of options that have come in to fill that. And so you have, it would be a lot more defined if gamma, here, or sorry, if gamma here just like dropped off and then it rose back up on these out of the money strikes, then you would see that delineation a lot better. Here it's kind of hard to see because it climbed so slowly that there was transient buying in between those strikes as they opened up new strikes out of the money.
Cool. Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, ultimately, if you see something doing weird things with respect to gamma max, yeah, check out the gamma curve. That should be your next stop. And then IV if the gamma curve doesn't tell you enough, and the IV surface looks like shit, then it kind of gives you an idea of sort of what's going on.
Well, it kind of tells you that nobody knows what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's kind of anyone's guess.
Nobody's pricing options efficiently at that point.
But I mean, when you said it hit the 52-week high, I was like, oh, that's just a technical breakout. Like, I mean, then people are just going to be bullish. So, is what it is.
Why the fuck do people think my name's Kirk? He called me Gherk.
Shut up, Kirk.
Whatever.
Obviously, every name that rhymes with Gherk, that's what it is.
Yeah. It's the only one that rhymes with Gherk.
Dirk?
Fuck off.
All right, well, Oh, he called me a jerk? That's also believable.
That's
Oh, I have a legitimate question from over on the YouTube.
was it
Is a lot of gamma kind of the same as a lot of delta falling off by expiry, where it opens up a move either up or down? How do you tell which way based on how close to the cluster of dex gex? Actually, a lot of delta falling off on an expiry can lead to that delta bleeding intraday, or that delta could be like very supportive depending on your position, like relative to where the charm is on the chain. A lot of gamma on an expiry generally pins price. So it has a strong pinning effect. Although a lot of positive gamma. A lot of negative gamma on an expiry definitely means that the price can move around quite a lot. Like we had some negative gamma going into today, so we got a little bit more of an outsized move than what we've been seeing recently. Although not much more of an outsized move overall.
Yeah. It's about it. I mean, gamma falling off the chain, like JFresh, if you want to dig up in the docs the spot where you discuss market maker hedging mechanics with gamma, think about all of that going away. What happens?
Well, gamma increases into expiration, but
no, you know what I mean. When it falls off, after expiry, right? Like
I don't want to
that
do any of that. Why don't you just skip? Why don't you read the docs?
You read the docs.
I do need.
Dick.
The docs are due for another revamp once we get the UI locked in.
Did you just call me Alfredo mozzarella breadsticks, Olive Garden Mangione?
You missed the Syrian reference. God damn it!
Perhaps.
Wow.
Al Assad at the end.
It doesn't even make sense. Leprechaun, dude, that's actually. Ooh, here's a
equivalently racist.
Nobody's ever put these dots together. Do leprechauns have souls?
The worst part about this is I've got insulted by both of those comments.
Wait, I actually kind of want to know, like, how does the lore work on leprechauns? Do they have souls?
I'm gonna tell your wife
no, they
where you
sold
hide
their
your
souls
lucky
for the
charms.
gold. That's what they put the gold at the end of the rainbow that they got from selling their soul.
My wife knows where all my lucky charms are, and she actively avoids them all.
It's because you're not wearing
One
the
sec.
Labubu costume.
BRB, I'm helping with homework. 1 second.
We've got eMagic 15. Are
Hey, can you
you
hear me?
all set, Moped?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate you
No
filling
problem, dude.
filling
good
in the
one.
lull. That's a good question.
Yeah, thank you, someone new, raising your hand. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool. I'm excited.
Hi, you magic.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So just a quick question. This won't take long at all, but it's kind of a caveat off of the YouTube question that Gherk just read. So what is the most important, like, for intraday or zero DTE stuff? Like, do I need to be focused on here on Gammastrike on that specific DTE, or does anywhere on the chain really matter? Because I see, like, it's not like the gamma is just like going up and down. It's like a lot of the same strikes have the same, like, gamma walls, I guess, as you guys have referred to them before. They're just like, you know,
There's just a higher
increase
concentration of
yeah,
interest.
yeah.
Really,
So based off of what you just said, does that mean, like, if I'm looking at this, like tomorrow's the 24th expiration, those gamma concentrations have more of a pinning effect tomorrow?
Well, yeah. I mean, gamma is the highest on the shortest expiry stuff that's closest to the money.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we primarily focus on the zero DT or the nearest expiry for our real time data. Is that when it comes down to it, like so when you think about delta, right? Delta is like that beautiful S curve that goes from -1 to 1. that
Mhm.
starts off real like smooth and not sharp at all, and then by expiry that turns into a literal stair step between the two strikes on either side of spot.
Yeah, it just looks like this.
Yeah, so and that's why gamma is so important on the short expiry stuff, is that it is extremely sharp. And so when you're approaching those concentrations of gamma, right, what's happening is those positions delta is changing very rapidly. And so if you have a lot of gamma exposure at that strike, you're probably going to be repositioning as spot is approaching it, and your delta is starting to change more quickly than you want it to.
Mm,
Yeah, on the
okay.
0 DTE, I mean, just to kind of like gloss over a lot of the technical stuff and maybe focus a little bit on what's important for trading. You know,
Good idea.
you want to understand the levels that you can trade within. You want to understand, you don't fully need to understand how price is going to react at those levels. You just need to know where those support and resistances are going to build due to the increases or decreases in gamma. Then if you want to dive deeper, you can look at speed, you can look at Vana, and those can give you kind of an idea of continuation relative to piles of gamma or relative to implied volatility. And then you want to keep a very close eye on implied vol. Implied vol is going to be more of like your leading indicator because it's really telling you a lot about demand across the strikes in your spot. Whereas gamma is telling you about the positioning at those strikes, and you want to kind of weigh those two things together, and that's gonna, by doing that, you're gonna get a very clear picture of where support is likely to be found, what levels are going to be defended, right? And that's what you really care about in a positive gamma environment, because the market maker is they're buying all those dips. And so if a level is if you expect a level to be defended, that's likely where price will bounce or slightly above it. And that's going to be like your support level. And then as gamma kind of cranks up to the upside and becomes more and more positive, upside potential becomes more and more resistive because the is selling greater and greater amounts as price rises. And so, as you start to push into like higher piles of positive gamma, the market starts to push back harder and harder against that upside move.
So that's why we've been not able to breach 6750, because this massive wall of gamma right here has just been preventing it from happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
5750
sure
5750 has been like a fucking brick wall because of that. Also, that also has a little bit to do with the volatility conditions we're in right now. Like, options are still a little bit overpriced. And so as we move up towards 50 and the market becomes more resistive, those calls out of the money start to price up a little. And as they price up, people want to sell them, because the potential for those options to go in the money is very low. But if they're carrying a lot of premium, they're very attractive to sell. And we're seeing the same thing on the downside, which is why we keep, like, every time we dump, we bounce so sharply, because as we dump, those puts price up really fast and everyone wants to sell those. And then the market maker is acting in a manner right now that is not fully compressing volatility. And so we're getting a lot more up and down swings, rather than just, getting a trend that's consistent.
Or we're waiting for Donald Trump to mention China and the market just implodes.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is additional pressure further out from, very high demand for downside protection, like 30, 45 days into the future. It's just, but, again, still very much dealing with the near term, where as the day progresses and the chance of Donald Trump saying something bearish decreases, right? The probability of him saying something that's going to tank the market decreases as we move into the end of the day. And then the selling of those options becomes more and more attractive because the probability of them not going in the money goes up. And that's self-reinforcing via the market maker's hedge. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way.
Saddle up, partner.
Yep.
All right. Yep. That's all I got. Appreciate it.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I mean, it is something to, you really want to kind of internalize the evolution of the delta curve, right? Where like you imagine like a rope, right, between 2 points, and it's got this little S bend in it, and that just slowly kind of morphs into the stair step, and people are basically surfing that wave all the way to the center as those contracts expire. And this is something that's happened on OPEXs for a long time, but now they get to happen every single day on the largest option chain in the entire market by a large margin. So yeah, it's definitely tail wags the dog situation in the most boring outcome possible, which is what people who like to manage risk enjoy.
Ooh, here's a question in chat. Oh, do you need help getting off the stage, man?
Yeah.
I can help you out. Thanks for coming up, dude. I appreciate it.
Here. Thanks for the question, bud.
Okay, so we got a question here in chat. Usually this max positive gamma of the day is broken. Okay, that's not careful with that. That's the most positive exposure strike. It's not the maximum positive gamma on the intraday. That's usually a little higher because it's all of it added together. You're not doing that when you're looking at individual strikes. But anyway, any reason why today just barely touched it and the market did not cross and reverse like usually? The reason we didn't cross it today was what I was just describing. You might have missed it, but basically, we're in a situation where the selling of calls becomes very attractive as those calls price up. Due to implied volatilities being slightly elevated and there being a bit of a negative carry on the short-dated options, what generally is happening is you're getting a lot of people who want to sell the out-of-the-money calls as those calls price up. And as they do that, that makes the people who sold out of the money puts want to start closing them. And you get a combination of people selling the out of the money call and people buying to close the in the money put, and you get an uptick in volatility, which the market maker is currently very sensitive to, since there's not a lot of positive gamma under spot that's padding things. And then that triggers the market maker to sell off, which makes those upside resistances significantly more durable than they would be if everybody were just selling puts the whole time. So, if everybody's just selling puts and selling puts and selling puts as price moves up, the decay of the delta from those puts will continue to drive prices higher. And it did still, we had enough of that today that we were still pinned pretty high in that 40 range, but the decay of that delta simply wasn't enough to keep pushing us higher, because where they'd sold the puts at that point was further out of the money and not very close to spot. And so, at the end of the day, we ended up breaking down a little bit, just because, there simply wasn't that much delta to decay up where we were. Most of it was decaying off of the 20 and 25 strikes.
It was already dead,
yeah, which were further out of the money. And so they towards the end of the day, those have almost no effect. And so unless people continue to sell $5 or $10 below spot into close, then the market maker doesn't need to just keep buying delta. Once those options all hit 0.99 delta, those flows kind of dry up. And so without increased positioning, pushing harder and harder, you get a point where the sold calls, which are being sold right at spot, are going to start to push down as their delta decays. And so, you kind of get like a balancing act. You can think of like a set of scales, and then one might, kind of drop off relative to the other.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we've
When those
designed
puts died, they were dead,
we've designed RTD-V2 to be easier to read.
Yeah, we're working on getting that pushed out.
And eventually, one day when we have the capacity, we'll figure out a way to like ghost changes in implied vol so that you guys can see the changes over time.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It's just very, very, it carries a lot of like tech debt. It'll be hard to build.
We can't just push it out, E2. There's one thing that needs to get done. One. Once we get that done, we'll push it out to you losers so you can fuck around with it and let us know that it sucks.
Yeah, right now we have a little bit of a weird thing where like the put call ratios are tied to the candle and not to the bucket. They're supposed to be tied to the bucket, not the candle. So we're working on that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because there's I'll have to chat with our back end fellow about how to accomplish that appropriately. Yeah.
Do you guys think we're smart enough
update.
to find flaws with Gammastrike? No, that's why we try to fix as many as we can first.
Yeah, we try to hand you something that's done so that way, you guys being end users, you're going to be like, so anyways, I was trying this from the space shuttle on my old Nokia and it broke. And that's what we have to deal with. But yeah.
I know. It's so cool that 100% of Gammastrike was built and created by a vibe coder using AI. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. Also, don't let Nuke hear you say that. He'll actually cry.
We should just turn off Gammastrike.
I will say I can confirm 100%. I've watched him screen share him looking up coding stuff on ChatGPT.
Oh yeah. He vibes out dumb shit all the time. Just to be like, has someone done this before? And then the vibe tells him it has.
Yeah, I'm currently doing vibe physics, which is kind of fun. I got a free 1 month.
You know what you should do, JFresh?
Plus.
You know what you should do, JFresh?
JFresh is about to turn into the world's largest supporter of AI.
There's a subreddit.
Oh, yeah. I'm on the cusp.
There's a subreddit called LLM Physics, and it's where you go if you want some really, really guilty, morbid curiosity into AI-driven delusion. Because every other post there is somebody who has found a new grand unified theory that has never been discovered or thought of. And absolutely no mathematical basis to it.
I can tell you what my process has been so far. It is I need just a functional form of a specific type of non-equilibrium thermodynamics problem for something I'm working on. And I sit there and I ask you questions and it spits out something and then I'm just like, well, this doesn't make sense. And then I do it again. And it's just like somehow a little bit easier maybe than me just sitting down and just doing the hard thinking of going step by step myself. I don't know that it actually is, but I don't know. It's
you
just,
hear that, JFresh? It's
what?
The sound of your agency slowly dying.
I mean, maybe, but I have to know that like what it tells me is wrong. And every single time I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. I think you double counted something in this term. And there's like, you're absolutely right.
Right. No, the siren's call of just being like, fuck it, I'm too tired. It will be too great for you one day.
What an astute observation. You're totally right. Let's do this the right way. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've totally fallen into AIDS yet, but
I've got a great question for you. Does GS show put selling versus call buying?
Yes. Skew. If you're clever. Yeah, so skew's one. Basically skew on all time frames. So we provide the IV during the intraday, which you can use to estimate skew at least visually at any given 10-second interval. We also provide skew averaged essentially over 10-day, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day on the IV page. And the
We also have skew
what?
adjusted delta and gamma.
Yep, we also have skew adjusted delta and gamma, which tells you similar things. And so yes, you can back out at least in a relative sense. So we will never, if I figure this out, I'll tell you this. If I figure out, if I could say something like, I know with absolute certainty, based on data I have received from the market, that 60% of this option is bought or sold, I'm never giving that to you. I haven't found it. It doesn't exist. Nobody else has found it.
Yeah,
It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist at all. That'd be crazy talk.
If it did exist, I wouldn't give it to you for any amount of money. But also, you would just know that I found it because the website would no longer exist.
Yeah, Gherk would no longer be streaming either.
Yeah,
that being said,
we'd all be.
That being said,
we'd all just be on a
yeah.
yacht, standing around a single laptop, cheering.
Yeah,
Jerking
right.
off on it.
But,
I mean, yeah,
okay.
cheering.
But all of that being said, we can give you estimations of relative changes in bought or sold. So, for example, I can't tell you 60% of the contracts on this, stock are bought or sold, but I can tell you that, hey, calls are much more bought now than they are historically, and puts are much more sold than they are historically, right? I can say things like that. And that's where skew comes in, right? And so skew gives you a relative measure of bought or sold versus calls or puts. So what skew tells you is I'm
Puts
trying to say
being
this in a
bought.
Well,
Yeah,
it's more.
yeah,
It's not really calls or puts as much as it is.
let me give
money.
you let me give you a concrete example. If skew is very negative, what that is telling you is that puts are much more bought than calls have been in the past.
Yep.
If skew is really positive, it tells you that calls are much more bought than puts in the past.
You have to make a little bit of a mental adjustment on indexes, but because index skew is generally always negative.
Yes, that's why I said it's relative. So you have to look at skew relative to what it was in the past. So I'm not saying like an actual positive number or an actual negative number. I'm saying if it's more negative than it was in the past, then puts are more bought. If it's more positive than it was in the past, then calls are more bought than they were historically in the past. So it can give you a sense of the relative change in boughtness of things over time.
Do you guys use a sliding window or assume as for what specifically?
Do you use a sliding window or assume a zero?
Are you talking about for? Yeah, that we don't do. We don't. What cumulative things are we talking about? We don't. So we just.
Well, I mean, the window is built into for skew, the window's built into the skew.
10, 30, 60, 90. So it is a rolling window of the last. So it's telling you the skewness of the IV smile relative to the last 90, 60, 30, or 10 days. And then on the 0 DTE data, it's it's relative to where spot is.
For the like skew adjusted gex and skew adjusted dex, that is just done on the day, right? So it's on a day average. I think we do an EMA adjustment, but it's basically 1 day window.
Yeah,
So we don't really do
skew adjusted
yeah,
decks kind of just
cumulative.
tells you our options being more bought than they were the day before, or sold than they were the day before.
And that's fine. I have no idea how to say your name. I'm gonna assume it's Guigui17. Yeah, that's fine that you haven't finished the documentation. I do my best to try to make it make sense to people, but I also I try to be rigorous, and it's hard to do both because you know, if you go to like the Greeks and the basics of it, like I include all the equations, you can skip all that. The equations are there if you want them. I try not to talk about them in terms of the equations because I know that a lot of people, you know, that type of math is hard to intuit, but it's a different language basically. So I do try to translate it into English. But if I fail to do that for you, I am always interested. Just drop a DM and I'll probably take it to heart.
There you go.
I don't even know what a dot is.
It's
Oh, okay.
it's a ziblet, but it's like a
You
it's a
write
metric ziblet.
you write English also terribly because dot is not a word. But you did correct it to do not. So
It's okay. We all had to learn English at some point.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Sadly, I wish I had learned another language first because fuck, everyone just speaks English. And I'm like, I want to know Spanish.
So learn Spanish?
you should
Yeah,
learn.
I can, but I need a language exchange buddy to talk Spanish with because otherwise I don't ever use it conversationally.
We'll send you to
You should
Mexico
learn.
for 6 months if you want.
Dude, I
No,
learned
we're
more in
sending this.
Cancun for a week than I did like from fucking year of Spanish.
We're sending this fucker to China. He's learning Mandarin.
Oh God. Okay, I'll learn Mandarin. That's cool. I'll do it. I habla español, ni tu, okay? Eres muy tonto. Get fucked.
Use Tinder in Jackson Heights. You'll learn Spanish real fast. Only because you need to be able to isolate the death threats and respond in kind.
So, Mongo, man, you say that, but all the cab drivers I'd be hanging out with, I would always kind of say something like, ya no sé mucho español. And they'd be like, you know, and they would obviously talk to me like a toddler, but I was in Cancun with 3 women. And so the 3 of them would be in the back of the cab and I'd be sitting in the front and they would all they'd be calling me Jefe and telling me how lucky I am and stuff. And I was like, only one of them's my girlfriend. But I would try not to say that.
All right, Jefe. You're gonna have to change your name to. You're gonna have to change your name to Jefe at the next All Stars.
The Jefe dork.
Those groups of people are like one of my favorites because like if you like you know the guy's only with one of those girls at most and maybe with none of them. But if you like look at that dude, he will look back at you like he's banging all of them.
Oh right, yeah, no, that was
He's like,
he was totally doing that to me. Like this cab driver is looking at me like I was like, no, he's looking at me like, yeah. That dude was hilarious though. One of the guys was just like he was talking about like how he's sober at this point, and he was just like, you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything except worship pussy. And I was like, you sick old man.
At least he's putting it on a pedestal.
What? I've never had an Uber driver like that. That's crazy.
Well,
I had
a
cab driver. I had a cab driver one time who did a bunch of blow off a clipboard, and then chased me through Central Park with a machete.
Oh, that's a little more entertaining.
Yeah. I told him he went
What
the
did you
wrong
do to
way,
him?
and that was his reaction. He just picked up a
Just to
clipboard,
chop
and
you
it
up
had
into
blow
bits?
on it, and he snorted it, and he reached under his seat, grabbed a machete, and got out of the cab, and I was like, oh, fuck. And so I bolted.
Interesting.
I got my hair cut with a machete once? What the fuck? Wait, hold on. Was that like a thing? Like by choice? Or like
It was like Mulan.
unwillingly?
She was cutting her hair from a bun because she was trying to sever her ties to her womanhood while she was trying to be a warrior for her
Family.
disabled father during
That
the
movie,
Great War.
that
where-
movie has some of the best songs that Disney ever
It
wrote.
does.
Mister, I'll make a man out of you.
All right, calm down,
Me
you
and
two.
my fiance just watched that recently. Well,
Let's
is
get
it
down to business.
is it Baby Farms time? Wait, we
My,
gotta hear
my
Jen
favorite
Yo's
my
story.
favorite character in that show is the fat guy, Poe.
Oh yeah, I love
Poe
Poe.
Fox.
Yeah, Poe's great.
Yes. Yeah, you should hear me sing Freshman. It's
It looks
pretty good.
amazing. All right.
I want to hear you sing Josh Groban or Jason Mraz.
I'm here thinking of like Jen in a
Ooh.
biker bar, like she's like conned somebody out of money on the pool table, and they're like chopping her hair off with a machete.
I was hoping it was actually Machete chopping her hair off with a machete.
You mean
Wait,
Danny,
so why don't you
Danny
just, like,
Trejo?
Why don't
Yeah.
you just, if you think it looked amazing, why don't you just do that all the time then?
Yeah,
Yeah, get the angle
bring
right.
the machete.
If I actually found a haircut I thought I looked amazing in, I would do it every 2 weeks.
Mohawk.
I cut my hair every 2 years.
Mohawk.
J-Fresh would look good with a mohawk, as long as he kept the beard.
Yeah, and honestly, he
I'm
needs
gonna
like huge
keep the
gauges in
beard.
his ears.
Actually, if you kept the side curls and then just shaved 2 stripes on either side of the center of your head, then you'd look like a
Oh.
clown.
So
I know. I'm pretty close to clown. I actually work. I have to work to like tone down the clown.
so what the sideshow Bob?
My natural hairstyle is clown, and it's frustrating. Yeah.
I got a buddy like that I want you to meet. I want you two to meet and just realize that you guys are clones.
Oh God.
You keep
You're a
talking
little more
about
Ginger,
this
he's a little more
person.
Scott, but yeah.
But
he's cool.
you said
You'd
that
like him.
I thought you said that he was like extraordinarily uneducated.
No, he's not extraordinarily uneducated. He's street smart, not book smart.
That's
He'll build you a deck.
that's a nice thing to say.
He'll build you a 16-foot tall deck.
I feel like I'm a pretty approachable guy. Most of my intelligence I regard as a mental illness.
That's what I do too. I just don't talk about it. When people ask me what I do, I just say I stare at bright rectangles, and they don't ask any other questions.
J-Fresh, I'm a really approachable guy. Proceeds to burn everyone who talks to him on Twitter.
Well, they're all dumb.
Yeah. So are most
The
people.
last time I told
Mm.
someone I was a physics major, like in person, when they didn't, or like when they were asking what I did for college, was back in Amsterdam. This German dude, like I told him I was in college, and he's like, "What are you studying?" I was like, "Physics." He was like, "Oh, no way!" And then he started going off on all the metaphysical bullshit about how everything is just waves and we all just exist. because we're-
Vibrations.
Elliot
yes.
waves?
Yeah.
He was telling
And
you
I,
about
yeah,
Elliot
and I was
waves?
like, please God, can I never have this conversation again in my life, please? And
Yeah.
and I haven't. I've succeeded
No.
in that.
You know, my favorite thing in
I-
the world is when you go to a place and they're like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And I tell them the truth. And then the first thing out of 100% of people's mouths is, "So what stocks do you think are good?"
Oh yeah.
And so
yeah.
what I do in that situation is I think of the worst possible stock to buy, the most overvalued piece of shit in the market. And then I tell them, 10, 15 years, and this will be your retirement.
Beyond Meat.
BYND. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both thought the same thing. I
Nailed
love
it. That's the flavor of the week right now. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time, guys. It's 11:30 for Gherk. He's gotta go eat his porridge and then do his pickles picks, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I know he loves his porridge.
I do enjoy a porridge. Have you ever like worked with Chinese people, like mainland Chinese people? They have this like really really
food
bland like
contact?
so yeah, well no, just like worked with, it doesn't matter what industry, they all do the same thing at breakfast. They get a bowl of what looks like overcooked rice, like infant food, and it has no seasoning whatsoever. And then they'll put like shit in it or dumplings and eggs and maybe pour some soy sauce on it, and they eat it every day without fail. Yeah, I think it's
I don't
kangi.
know.
It's disgusting.
All the Chinese people that I've interacted with on a personal level, they just seem to be mostly into shuttlecocks.
Badminton.
Yep.
Chinese people do love badminton, and they love ping pong. Yeah, it's ping pong too. They love ping pong. It's kind of the same thing. Badminton's just giant ping pong.
I feel like you can't say the word Chinese. You can't say this sentence. Chinese people love ping pong. Like it just sounds naturally.
The game's called
racist.
fucking
Table
ping pong.
tennis.
Like,
Fuck,
oh,
I call it
Chinese
ping
people
pong,
love
dude.
ping
It's been
pong,
ping
ding
pong
dong,
since I was
ching
a
chong, ching ching
Fuck
chong.
off, dude. It's been called that my entire life. Okay. You know, the day I call it table tennis is the day you can freaking, I don't know, make fun of me.
Can we call it miniature tennis?
Why
we
isn't
call
it?
my
Why
brother throws
isn't
the
it
paddle at
called
me when he's
miniature
losing.
tennis?
It literally is.
Because it's played in a table, so it's table tennis.
I don't know how J-Fresh was just more racist than Dork by calling Dork out for being racist.
I'm not racist. It's called ping pong.
We
Elevated.
know you're not
elevated
racist. Stop getting so
mini-
defensive. Your dad'll still love you.
No.
Elevated.
Well, which one?
Miniature tennis.
Your J-Fresh father.
I love
Cat Daddy?
before the Vol Stars starts. Gert comes in and I'm like, "Hi, Dad," and I just say it. It's so matter of fact, like he's actually my dad. And then
It's so
his face,
weird.
his face is why I do it.
I want to send you that video of that guy doing the backflip on Maury after he finds out he's not the father.
It's like I say it the same way I would say if my dad walked into like my home office while I was working. I would say it the exact same way.
That one was I gotta find that episode of Maury because it was brutal. The kid was like 9, and the kid was in the audience, and
God.
he'd been like living with his dad for like half of most of his life. And then this dude finds out he's not the father, and he just like does a full breakdance and backflips off the stage and walks the fuck out.
Reminds me of someone I know, my own dad.
My own dad.
What was that? No? Yeah, no. No, my dad's a great person. He's raised me well. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to joke about this kind of stuff. Dad, you fucking dick. I'll show you.
One day.
One day, you'll know. I'm worth the shit. Well, is it Baby Farms time?
Yeah.
I
It
haven't
was
seen
a while.
any
It
questions
was
roll in.
Baby Farms a while ago.
Yeah, let's fuck off. I got a couch I want to sit on and a fiance I want to yap with.
Have a good night, everybody. And don't forget to check us out at app.gammastrike.com, where you can review the documentation or sign up. Good night.
Yeah.